he knocked out a fucking promo guy that was with his kids too. He just was a promo guy. He didn't hang with us. He didn't even know everybody in the crew. He didn't really know nobody. He got paid to do promo. And he happened to be, I guess, out there where they be at doing promo. And he knocked the nigga out in front of his kids. And the nigga had a seizure. Yeah, you know what it is. Original corporate thug in the building with a humble soul. CTE for life. Original corporate thug coming live from Indianapolis, Indiana, West Side. Fuck with me.
AHumbleSoul, we checking back in, man. We back in Indianapolis with it. Got Clem in front of the camera, man. It's a pleasure to chop it up with you again, dog.
Yes, sir. Back again, live from Indianapolis, Indiana, the West Side. And you can't mention CTE without mentioning me.
Oh, for sure, bro. What's been going on with you, man, since we chopped it up the last time? I know it's probably been.
Oh, shit been crazy. Shit been crazy. A lot of people reaching out. A lot of people showing love. A lot more interviews coming up. You know, just trying to, just telling my story, just telling my truth.
No, for sure.
You know, like I said before, if you don't like it, fuck you.
Man, you like a polarizing figure. You know, you get mixed responses when you put out your content. It's people that rock with you and appreciate your honesty. Then it's people who look at you like you kind of jump ship, or you're not really like holding it down, or being like a disgruntled person, you know what I'm saying? Because you're no longer with Jeezy, man. How do you feel about just how people take in the stuff you put out there, bro, online?
I see a lot of the comments. I see a lot of the bullshit they be saying, but once again, they on the outside looking in. I'm giving y'all the views from the inside out, and you can take it how you want to take it. I ain't got to be loyal. I ain't got to keep holding it down, cause that shit been gone a long time ago. The code been broke. You know what I'm saying? So ain't no code. So it's every man for himself, right? So ain't no more code, ain't no more holding it down, ain't no more being loyal, or none of that shit. But what I am gonna do is make a motherfucker remember that they said CTE for life. And I'm gonna make them remember it till they die. And I still ain't taking funeral flowers to the funeral, so it don't matter.
I mean, let's kick it off, bro. Like, the last interview you touched on, obviously, your relationship with Jeezy, how y'all connected, how it was to kind of see him blossom as an artist, and also how things went left, you feel me? As well as like some other people, some other altercations, you know what I'm saying, with like run-ins with Gucci Mane, so on and so forth, bro. Some crazy stories about, you talking about, shawty low to the chicks, all of that, bro. Like, it was real interesting to hear the story, but it was a couple of things that I didn't ask you about in the first interview that I'm curious to get your opinion on and your take on, if you got any stories, man. As well as just to chop it up, One thing I didn't ask you about in the first interview, I remember too, but we had chopped it up for like a few hours, so I didn't want to just drag the interview on and on, because I was hoping we could chop it up again. Mm-hmm. It was an incident, man, that happened a few years ago, involving Brick Squad. Slim Dunkin, he was one of the people who was like front line when it comes to their side before he passed away. And it was a video that surfaced online that showed a dude wearing a CTE shirt at some type of gathering or something like that. It was outside, and it shows that Slim Dunkin pretty much came up to him and just punched him, knocked the dude down, and that was that. But I didn't know was that somebody who was actually a part of the CTE crew, or was that a fan? And like, what's your take on all of that, bro?
Man, for one, I know what you're talking about, but for the Slim Dunkin guy, I don't even know who that was. I don't even know who he is or nothing. So I can't really speak on him. I do know he dead now, right?
For sure.
Okay. And he knocked somebody out in a CTE shirt? Well, shit, I guess that's where he's supposed to be at, dead. So fuck him. But he knocked out a fucking promo guy that was with his kids too. He just was a promo guy. He didn't hang with us. He didn't even know everybody in the crew. He didn't really know nobody. He got paid to do promo. And he happened to be, I guess, out there where they be at doing promo. And he knocked the nigga out in front of his kids. And the nigga had a seizure. You know what I'm saying? To me, If that's gangster, I guess it's gangster. You knocked out somebody that was just higher bias. But I understand because shit, we did the same thing. We ran into some niggas that was just working for them, and we got on all their ass. So you know, you get what you put out. So it's all good though. It wasn't really no problem. But I don't know that cat. Never seen him, and I didn't see them niggas plenty places. So I guess he was front line, back line, middle line. I don't know where the fuck he was, but I don't remember. He went in there in the midst of all the real shit. And for one, you knocked out a guy that was getting paid to do promotions. And he was with his kids. You get strikes for that? I guess.
Nah, man, appreciate you clearing that up, bro. I saw that in the comments, man. I didn't know if y'all had any other interactions. Because I remember you mentioning his name during the first interview, though. Slim Dunkin. When you brought up like Waka Flocka, Slim Dunkin, I think in the story about the Miami incident when you said turn 1017 to 0000. So that's why I thought y'all had. I didn't know if you had any interactions with him.
No, I never. No. One thing, if he was the front line, I'll tell you one thing. They didn't want to meet our front line. Just to clear shit up. And that's another thing when I get back to a motherfucker say, Clem always saying we. Clem never threw a punch. I didn't have to. Our front line was retarded. You couldn't even get to me. You know what I'm saying? For me to have to throw a blow, you had to get through some real niggas that knew how to get down. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Macon, Georgia, Univille again.
No, for sure, bro. I mean, yeah, that is something that was consistent in a lot of the videos where they were critical about you talking about what other people in CTE was doing, but not you putting in no work yourself. But I mean, without saying nothing too crazy, were there any incidents where you had to get your hands dirty, bro?
I mean, of course.
Or you was the underboss though.
You know, but I didn't have to if I didn't want to. But I was always right there with the crew. The crew know that. Like I said before, the crew used to tell me to get back. Hey, you go back there with Dog. True stories.
And Dog is Jeezy?
Yeah, Jeezy. So at one time again, I was protected like him. I mean, niggas hate to see me say that and see me here talking like this. You know what I'm saying? Once like I said before, the code being broke, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have to do nothing. I didn't have to do nothing, but guess what? When I did have to do something, it was done. You know what I'm saying? So that's all.
No, for sure.